Hello everyone. Today you'll hear a short recap of the movie Boot Camp. In the middle of the night, a group of people bursts into Randall's room and forcibly drags him out of the house. "What did I do?" he asked his parents. Meanwhile, rebellious teenager Sophie Bauer stops by her boyfriend Ben's workplace and invites him to a party. We're also introduced to a long-haired guy who gets completely wasted on drugs at a nightclub. Sophie's stepfather is a powerful politician. Wanting to embarrass him, she walks out in front of his guests holding a marijuana joint. Ben and Sophie meet at the party and immediately sneak off to a bedroom. Ben notices bruises on Sophie's arm. Her parents were strongly against letting her attend the party. Suddenly, Sophie asks Ben to marry her. She isn't even 18 yet, but she's willing to leave her family, or at least move in with him. To make it happen, a group of strangers suddenly enters the room. They throw Ben out, zip-tie him to a piece of furniture, and restrain Sophie. To stop her from resisting, they inject her with a sedative. Ben immediately goes to the Bowers' house, where Sophie's parents tell him that he won't see her again for an entire year. That's how long the program lasts. They claim it's necessary to stop her from ruining her life and destroying her family. Sophie wakes up on a boat alongside a couple of unhappy-looking teenagers. They're being transported to one of the islands of Fiji. Jack, the drug addict from the nightclub, is already feeling sick. When they arrive, a group of muscular island guards armed with machetes escorts them across the island. Randall silently walks ahead while Jack can barely stay on his feet. The teenagers are brought to another side of the island, where two staff members conduct a roll call. Their zip ties are removed, but electronic ankle bracelets are immediately attached instead. The head guard is named Logan. He explains that even though there are no walls around the camp, the guards will instantly know if anyone leaves the designated area. Escaping by sea is impossible as well. All of the teenagers' personal belongings are confiscated, and they are chained to concrete slabs on the beach. They remain there until nightfall. As the tide comes in, massive waves begin crashing over them. The captives struggle just to keep from drowning. The next morning, their restraints are finally removed. That's when they meet Dr. Norman Hale, the founder of Camp Serenity, that he explains that they will participate in a special behavioral program designed to help them achieve inner peace and self-control. Jack refuses to calm down, so the guards force his face into the sand. The camp is surrounded by detection systems. The program involves hard physical labor, and any display of anger is punished. Dr. Hale then places the newcomers under the supervision of Ellen. She explains that everyone starts with black shirts. As they improve, they earn yellow shirts and eventually white shirts. Only those who reach the white shirt level, like Ellen herself, are allowed to leave the camp. Almost immediately, Jack gets punished and is painfully forced onto a staircase. A girl named Trina shows Sophie her bunk and gives her a starter kit. Ellen tells Sophie that when she first arrived, she weighed about 30 kilograms more than she does now. Constant bullying had driven her to self-harm, but now, she says, nobody laughs at her anymore. Finally, Dr. Hale's sister, Rhonda, announces that everyone will undergo a drug test. Ben met with Mrs. Bauer, but she asked him and her husband to stop bothering them. Ben, however, accused her of neglecting Sophie after her second marriage, even though Sophie desperately needed her attention and support. Before leaving, Mrs. Bauer revealed the name of the camp. While Sophie was trying to adapt to life there, Ben began researching Camp Serenity and its founder. Several weeks passed. The black shirts spent their days working in the gardens. One boy who had broken the rules was being kept in a pit. Part of the program involved public confessions in front of campers from every rank. After 6 weeks, it was Trina's turn to confess her sins. She felt embarrassed and ashamed. The yellow shirts and white shirts began shouting and stomping their feet. 4 of them were selected to surround Trina. They shoved her around while yelling accusations, claiming she traded sex for drugs, stole from people, and made her parents' lives miserable. Enough, Trina finally screamed. "You should have tried living with my parents first. They're religious fanatics." She then admitted that she once made a bet with her friends about who could seduce the most guys. In a single night, she slept with 7, maybe even 8, different boys. Trina fell to her knees, burst into tears, and begged for forgiveness. The same people who had been tormenting her sat beside her, hugged her, and told her they loved her. After that, Trina began praying obsessively every night. Meanwhile, Ben met with a man and handed him some money. He had bought drugs. Trina was assigned to work in the kitchen. One day, she stole a chicken drumstick and tried to eat it behind the trash bins. Logan caught her and scolded her for taking extra food. The guard told her he could promote her to a yellow shirt if she gave him something in return. He then forced her into a degrading situation. Soon afterward, a violent storm hit the island. Heavy rain flooded the camp, and powerful winds even tore down one of the tents. Everyone ran for shelter except Trina, who was still traumatized by what had happened. When the storm passed, the camp was left in ruins. For some reason, Trina was put in charge of the black shirts. The girls were assigned the hardest labor. Sophie was exhausted, but a girl who had been her friend the day before started bullying her and demanded that she get back to work. She and several other black shirts threw Sophie into the mud and kicked her while she was down. All of this happened under the watchful eyes of the Hales. At the same time, a new group of teenagers was being examined in the camp infirmary. Among them was Ben, who had deliberately started using drugs in order to get sent to the camp. Meanwhile, Sophie was stripped and left shivering in a cold, damp room. Dr. Hale personally came to speak with her. In exchange for a cookie, he wanted her to reveal her deepest secrets. The doctor began wondering aloud how a loving mother could have sent her daughter to a monster like him. But Sophie refused to play his psychological games or accept the rules of his self-proclaimed utopian society. Ben was placed in a barracks where Jack, the former drug addict from the nightclub, now with a fresh haircut, immediately started picking on him. Later, in the cafeteria, Ben spotted Sophie and sat down across from her. She immediately got up and walked outside. Ben showed her the marks on his arms and explained how he had staged everything in order to get himself sent to the camp. Sophie burst into tears, while Ben secretly hid a fork. During a run around the island, he noticed a fisherman's boat nearby. Later, a guard orders everyone to run into the water, including Randall, who doesn't know how to swim. Ben helps him make it back to shore safely. During another camp meeting, Dr. Hale announces that Trina has earned a yellow shirt. After breaking off one of the fork's tines, Ben tries to use it to tamper with his electronic ankle bracelet. Soon it's Sophie's turn to confess her sins. Dr. Hale starts for her by bringing up her deceased father. Expecting to be humiliated, Sophie immediately sits down on the ground. Among those tormenting her is Trina, now wearing a yellow shirt. Sand is thrown into Sophie's face, and she remembers how her parents used to emotionally berate her at home. Ellen then sits on top of her. Enough, Sophie finally pleads. With tears in her eyes, she admits that she lied about her stepfather making advances toward her. That night, Ben takes Sophie into the bushes and reveals that he has a plan to escape from the camp. The campers are later given another psychological assignment: write letters to themselves from the perspective of their parents. Ellen believes she'll be leaving the camp in just 2 more months. She's already spent 2 entire years there. During a soccer game, Ben tests how the camp's detection system works. Jack starts harassing Ben again, but quickly backs off after getting hit where it hurts. Not long afterward, Dr. Hale ceremonially bids farewell to a camper who has successfully completed the 2-year program. After reading the letter Sophie wrote from her mother's perspective, Dr. Hale begins to suspect that she isn't truly changing and is only trying to manipulate him. It is also revealed that a girl previously died while participating in the program. However, Dr. Hale and his sister were cleared of any wrongdoing by the court. Sometime later, Ben finally figures out how to deactivate his ankle bracelet. When Dr. Hale leaves for a conference in Los Angeles, Ben and Sophie decide it's the perfect opportunity to escape. With their bracelets disabled, they sneak into the Hale's office, where a drunken Rhonda is asleep. They recover their passports and personal belongings. Now all they have to do is reach the main island by boat. Meanwhile, Dr. Hale is holding a meeting with the parents of the troubled teens currently attending the camp. Ben's father explains how his son suddenly spiraled out of control after Sophie broke up with him. Hearing this, Hale realizes something isn't right and immediately calls Logan. Unfortunately, Ben and Sophie hadn't accounted for the massive waves. They are repeatedly battered by the rough sea. Luckily, when their boat finally capsizes, they are already close to shore. Ben had planned everything in advance. He booked a hotel room and even mailed himself an envelope full of cash. By the next day, the couple expects to be flying home. But at the worst possible moment, Logan bursts into their hotel room and punches Ben in the face. The disappointed runaways are dragged back to the island and thrown into a pit as punishment. Dr. Hale announces that because of the escape attempt, all campers will lose breakfast privileges and personal free time for the next 3 months. Randall's atonement session follows. He refuses to admit that he wanted to kill his parents, so the punishment includes being beaten with sticks. But instead of breaking him, it only makes Randall more defiant. He openly mocks Dr. Hale and ridicules his methods. Days passed one after another. The punished campers were finally released after 2 weeks, by which time their pits had become badly flooded from the rain. Ben was brought before Dr. Hale. Hale tells him that he nearly ruined Sophie's rehabilitation and almost got her killed in the ocean. He says that Ben will be sent home in a few days, but only if he stays out of Sophie's way. Otherwise, Sophie's life at the camp will become a living hell. After that, Ben starts acting cold towards Sophie. He doesn't want to make things worse for her, so she is forced to become part of the group and follow the program. Meanwhile, Logan continues abusing Trina. One night, after twisting her arm behind her back, he goes even further than before. Later, Sophie notices Trina crying and tries to find out what happened. Then she sees blood running down Trina's leg and immediately understands. Another daily run ends with the usual order to get into the water, but today the waves are much bigger than normal, and Randall is terrified. As he begins to drown, he grabs onto a buoy. Ben sees his friend in trouble and rushes to help, but Logan stops him. A massive wave slams Randall into the seabed. He hits his head and loses consciousness. Sometime later, the poor boy's body washes up on shore. This time, even Logan looks worried. Ben immediately starts performing first aid. Logan eventually joins in, but it's too late. Randall is dead. Ben accuses the guard of killing the teenager. Logan quickly makes up a story, claiming that Randall tried to escape and simply overestimated his abilities. Randall's lifeless body is carried back to camp. Dr. Hale is furious. Logan has ruined everything, and now there will be an investigation. Logan is suspended from his duties. Rhonda lashes out at her brother, telling him he has gone too far while playing God. That evening, the Islanders take Randall's body away, while Hale gives a statement to the local police. Afterward, he gathers everyone together. According to Hale, the law on the island applies equally to everyone, so today it is Logan's turn to atone for his sins. The guard steps into the center of the crowd. Four campers in black shirts approach him. Jack demands that Logan admit Randall died because of him. Then Trina stands up and asks how many other girls he promised yellow shirts to. The question immediately catches everyone's attention. After all, the girls involved are minors. The crowd suddenly turns on Logan and begins beating him with sticks. But Sophie begs them to stop. She and Ben reveal the truth about Dr. Hale. They tell everyone that a girl died in one of his previous camps, and there may have been other victims as well. They condemn his methods. Does rehabilitation really have to involve beatings, humiliation, and abuse? This program is garbage, they tell the others. It needs to end right now. The teenagers begin destroying the camp. The Islanders make no attempt to stop them. Using makeshift torches, the teens set fire to the buildings one after another. Even Rhonda is no longer on her brother's side. The barracks go up in flames and burn down within minutes. Logan tries to drive away, but the crowd blocks him and his vehicle crashes into a dumpster. Trapped by the fire, he cannot escape the vehicle. Moments later, it explodes with Logan still inside. Nobody mourns his death. The teenagers then head to Dr. Hale's cabin. Hale already has a pistol in his hand, but John, who has been hiding behind him, knocks the weapon away. A struggle breaks out. The gun ends up back in Hale's hands, but when he pulls the trigger, nothing happens. Rhonda had secretly unloaded it beforehand. The teenagers throw Hale into a pit and flee the camp, ignoring the detectors and alarms. Programs like this first appeared in the 1970s. Thousands of teenagers have gone through similar camps. Over the years, more than 40 deaths have been officially recorded in connection with such programs.